guess I could say that I had a kind of a rough night last night, and I've gotten a habit of keeping my phone or my iPad and my earbuds. Uh, they're in the bed with me. So when I can't sleep, I will put on videos, Instagram or YouTube videos, and I can listen to it while Gary's sleeping, because he goes to bed really early, and now I'm having to go to bed early with him to get him to go to bed and to stay in the bed. And so during the night, there was a guy come on, and I was trying to find it. Once those videos are gone, if you don't do something to save it, it's gone. But the guy was talking about how when our emotions get the best of us, that the Bible talks about being renewed in your mind. I looked up that word renewed. It means to be renovated. It's not about being renewed like going back to something that was previous. That's not the word that it's used there. It's to be renovated. It's to be completely restructured. And so why does our mind need to be renewed or be renovated? It's because it's got corruption in it. It's been what's the word I'm trying to say? Contaminated with false thoughts or negative thoughts or things that we've experienced. Mostly, I think the thoughts that's in our mind is things that we've experienced and come to conclusions about, but also things we've been taught. We've been taught by people. We've been taught by just by living. Our families teach us things. Our morals, and a lot of those things that come through our upbringing, our environment. And then if you went to a church, you got all that layers on there too. And so what can happen, we can have some real misconstrued ideas about ourselves, about other people, and most definitely about God. Yeah. Everything I was taught about God, I found out it's not everything's exactly true. It doesn't mean that we didn't try to do the best we can. We did. Didn't mean anybody was intentionally trying to corrupt me with, false doctrine. But nobody's got it all right. Nobody has it all right. I promise you that. His ways are unsearchable. You can't get to the end of ever really understanding God. But when you do, the baseline is going to be, it's always going to come down, the foundation is God is love. He's love. And so, boy, some people have a hard time with that. But, and to me, I'm thinking, it's not about just loving other people, that God is love, and that I'm to love other people, but that God loves me. And can I love me? Can I love me when I'm not lovable? Can I love other people when they're not lovable? The Bible talks about that it's easy to love those that love you, but can you love your enemy? But I think worse than that, the hardest thing is not about other people, it's about yourself. It's when you have regrets, when you have remorse. How do you get beyond that and still continue into a positive vein of your life? The people that I've worked with a lot in my life, people that are, say, in prison, well, you went there because you did some bad things. And there can be a lot of remorse, a lot of sorrow and regret, and a lot of reasons. They really struggle with the word forgiveness. And every time you try to talk about forgiveness, the first thing they're going to say is forgiving themselves. It seems like it's easier to figure out other people than it is yourselves. Same way with working with addicts, people that's been addiction. I promise you're not going to be an addict very long that you've not done some real regrettable things, that you've not hurt some people that you've loved. And you've caused a lot of damage, and then you got to try to deal with that. Well, myself, I'm not dealing with addiction. I'm not dealing with crime. I'm not dealing with those things. But I'm dealing with my own battles of failure. I can talk a lot on here, and you can really put me on a pedestal if you don't watch it. But I'm real. Everything you see is authentic, but I don't show everything. And one of the things here lately, I've been having some emotional breakdowns. I've had a couple lately that some of you would probably quit following me if you could have seen me in that moment. of completely losing my freaking mind with Gary. And it wasn't because he did anything terrible. It was just the wear and tear. Anybody that's a caregiver, the wear and tear that all of a sudden you just went over your limit. And I become a person that very ashamed of. Yelling, screaming, cussing, throwing things. In fact, I picked up one item and I threw it, and I picked it up and I threw it, I picked it up and threw it on the floor until it was busted into smithereens. I don't know what it is at me about throwing things. It releases something, but I used to slam doors when I was a kid. I used to get so much trouble as a teenager because I would go in my room and slam my door. I'd get in trouble for it. I can still slam doors and knock things off the wall and then really be mad at myself because I just broke something that I liked. Get madder. Well, I've had a couple of those lately. I'm really ashamed of. But I was laying there in the bed and thinking about that in the night and going, what in the world is happening to me? I know better. It's not because, people say, well, he don't know it. He don't mean it. That's not really him. I'm like, duh, really? Seriously? You don't need to say that to me. Of course I know that's not him. You don't know what I know. He's been my spouse for 47 years. Have somebody also telling me like, well, you already know this, but he's going to get worse. I'm like, why do you, anytime you find yourself talking to somebody and starting off a sentence with, you already know this, just probably shut up right there. Why are you telling them if they already know it? To tell me it's going to get worse doesn't help me. I hate to tell you that. Yeah, I know. I know more than you know. You think I haven't studied this more than all of you? Good grief. People say ignorant things, but they mean well. It doesn't help you. No, we need to be renewed. This man was talking about what do you do when you're losing your emotions. He's saying emotions all come from thoughts, and I know this. Emotions don't come from anywhere. They're rooted in a thought. You've got something you've already thought. Thinking brings you to a place of emotions. So I've been, just laying there trying to think about what is going on with me that I'm thinking, what is it I'm thinking that's causing me to lose it? And it's a sense of hopelessness, that it can't get better, that it's going to get worse. And if it gets worse than this, how am I going to handle that? So when you get into that, it can make your emotions take over. But one thing dawned on me. I want to try to wrap this up. But I don't know where the thought came from, but I realized these situations that came blindsided me. I didn't see it coming. Didn't see either episode that I've had lately where I've ended up throwing things. Neither one of those I saw coming. Like, well, how can you control something you don't see coming? Because you can't. You just react. You're not at a place that you can respond. You react. And then your reaction's like, dadgum, I just made it worse. Well, what hit me with that, I didn't see it coming. I also was reminded of some answers, some situations in my life that happened that I did not see coming. Well, first of all, there were situations I didn't see. Let's just take, for instance, when our house was struck by lightning and burned, which has been 37. Gary and I have been married 47, but 37 years ago, our house was struck by lightning in the night. And you didn't foresee that. You don't foresee that. We didn't see that coming. But that wasn't really the issue, that I didn't see the fire coming. What I didn't see was the solution. I never dreamed that God would use a fire to pay for our house. He took the fire, went through that in the whole story, which I can't go into, but God ended up paying for our house. And our house, our 5 acres of land that we've lived here now for those 37 years, we've lived paid for. I didn't see that coming. That's a miracle. And there's other things I could look back on that solutions came that I didn't see coming. So I'm trying to get my mind renewed, reconstructed, that I know what they say about Alzheimer's. But there was answers to big things, and that's a biggie, that I didn't see coming. So today I'm trusting that God's got a plan. that I'm not seeing coming. In the meantime, pray for me. And I'm being raw and real. I ain't perfect, honey. I ain't even close. But I have a perfect God who loves me perfectly. God bless you.